Hey guys, it's Sin from Mutiny, back again for the second part of our range war recap with OneHive Genesis. This time we'll be looking at the attacks from OHG's side. So let's start. Yeah, I noticed that I fucked up the video a bit on the first video, so I hope you guys forgive me for that. And the first attack we'll go into is the only Town Hall 10 3-star in this scrim by Mega Money, from which some of you may recognize from the main OneHive clan. The attack was on Coffee, which is a new Town Hall 10 on our side. He basically made the move to Town Hall 10, I think, less than a month or two ago. So as you can see, his heroes are still pretty much Town Hall 9 level. He uses a giant to bait the CC out before she starts her queen walk. Really nice job dropping a barb just to take out the stray archers. Drops a few minions to set up a funnel. This actually ends up setting up a funnel for her king later, and it's not for funneling her queen. Oh, my mistake. They actually do set up a funnel for her queen for a charge into that compartment as well. So after the queen takes out the gold mine, and probably the wizard tower as well, she'll go in. Yep, puts the rage, and the rage healers keep her up through the X-bow cannon and archer tower fire. Drops the jump, and as soon as the cannon goes down, drops her king. As you can see, versus multi-infernos, especially against a level 1, the queen can take quite a bit of damage before she's in trouble. Phases the queen to take out the defending queen. And because of the funnel that was created earlier, both heroes go into the inferno compartment and takes out the inferno. Starts the Lalun part of the attack. And as you can see, the attack's going really well. Really good haste. Basically straight funneling the loons into the path of the AD. Has a freeze and a rage for the back end, which takes out the Teslas, the AD, and the final inferno. And at this point, there's no chance. There's nothing left to the base, so it's just cleanup. Let's just fast forward. Really nice raid. Next attacks by Dirt on Sick Nasty Fool on 5. As with most attacks in this war, this was a queen walk / queen charge go Vaho. It's just a really strong attack right now in the current state of the game. Drops his queen, drops his healers, drops one wizard to funnel her towards the right side. The queen's gonna go for the right side army camp and mortar after she takes out both storages here. And thankfully she's just towards the right enough that she goes the other way. Drops a wizard there so that the queen goes inward towards the air defense. If you take the risk and don't do that, if she ends up walking around, because the healers are air and they don't walk around according to the walls, then the AD might end up sniping off the healers prematurely, and that will end your raid really quickly. Something to always bear in mind when you're planning a queen walk where you're banking on your queen to walk around a corner. Starts the golem part of his attack. Golem down, wizards down to create the funnel. The queen walk has already created the other side of the funnel, but drops a wizard anyway. Test wall breaker, followed by the rest. Oh, test wall breaker actually wasn't necessary there. So yeah, he released it a bit quickly, but it was correct given the circumstances. There couldn't have been a bomb there since the buildings were adjacent. Releases the Valks and King nice and late. Straight in towards the queen. Drops the jump, which connects most of the base. His Valks make quick work of the CC P.E.K.K.A. And he's very nicely and patiently surgicaling in hogs as needed. As you can see, there's no point defense firing here, so he drops in 2 hogs to take out the air sweeper, just in case there is a double giant bomb there. The healers are now transferring onto his kill squad, and there's pretty much nothing that the base can do at this point, even though there's still a Tesla farm and quite a few archer towers left. He still has 11 hogs, kill squad still up, both hero abilities still up. Still a rage and a heal, which he uses on the Tesla farm. Really nice raid. Essentially, he could have swagged one spell and both hero abilities there. Next attack was by Mutiny. How do you pronounce that? Mutiny? Okay, anyway. Let's just call him J. Attack by J on our leader Teddy. Or I should say former leader. He recently stepped down and is now a co-leader instead. As you can see, another queen charge go Vaho. Drops the minions to set up the funnel. This was a cleanup attack, so he knew that there was a Tesla farm on the south side. Drops his queen exactly on a spot that would trip the Tesla, so that the Tesla wouldn't fire at his funnel minions. Drops the rage nice and early, as you need to versus a Tesla farm, and gets ridiculous value out of it. Gets 3 Teslas, 1 archer tower, 1 cannon. Drops a giant to tank fire before dropping his wall breakers. The giant actually doesn't end up tanking enough, and the last wall breaker gets sniped off by the archer tower. But thankfully, his queen didn't detect the army camp and didn't wrap around. Instead, she charged into the other compartment instead, which actually works out in his favor because it ends up taking out both DGB sets rather than just one. Triggers the CC, double witch CC, which is easily taken care of by a poison. Starts the golem part of the attack. Drops his golem. Nice and patient on the wizards. Make sure that the archer tower is firing on the golem. Now that the funnel is created, drops his jump. Phases his queen, as his queen was in danger there. Drops his king and Valks. They go in. Queen actually ends up popping 2 skeleton traps, so his hogs don't have to worry about that anymore. Drops a heal. His Valks take care of the Expo and quite a few wizard towers, and he starts surgicaling in hogs. Takes out the defending king as well. Meanwhile, his queen's still doing work on that bottom side. His king and Valks get stuck on walls, so it's all up to the hogs right now. His hogs end up getting stretched a bit thin, but thankfully his queen makes it just in time to start taking fire from the Expo. And as you can see, his hogs are all dead, but his queen takes out the last few defenses. So it's all just clean up from here. Really nice raid. And that's actually the reason why some people prefer bringing 2 jumps for Go Vaho, because after a certain point your Valks and King get stuck on a wall, and it's actually quite a waste of DPS and tanking. But thankfully in this case, because he did a split hero approach, that the queen was tanking and taking care of the backside, and it didn't really matter that much. Next attack is by 007 on Clayton. A bit of a refreshing change of pace here. Like, we've seen a lot of Queen Charge Go Vaho in this war, and this was just a standard cold-blooded Go La Lune. Very textbook. Drops his golem, drops his queen nice and early, creates the funnel before dropping his king. Drops a rage for his kill squad. Drops a poison for his CC. Queen takes out the defending queen really quickly. But as it happens that there are quite a few point defense on that side with double Teslas and both heroes, his golem gets taken out really quickly. Unfortunately, otherwise there was a chance that his kill squad could have gotten 2 ADs if they took the jump to the north compartment. But it didn't matter anyway. He had 4 Lava Hounds. So, starts the La Lune part of the attack. One thing really good about this attack is really nice and patient deployment on the La Lune. Attacks the base one part at a time. Attacks the northwest side first. And once the AD on the south starts getting engaged, only starts the La Lune part on that attack. And as you can see, if the base is set up really well for La Lune, like this base, and if you deploy your La Lune well, you actually don't need that many spells, because the Lava Hound ends up tanking everything. And your balloons converge in a nice path when you have a very crisp execution of that clockwise or counterclockwise deployment. So they go in a ring shape type of path. So really nice raid. Now it's left with cleanup, so let's fast forward. Really nice. He swagged 5 spells, please. Jesus. Okay. And the last attack we're going to look at is an attack on Nate by Iceman. He brought a Queen Charge Go Drag. Zap quicks the center AD while he drops a few minions to create a funnel. The minions on the right side are creating a funnel for his queen, whereas the minions on the left side are creating a funnel for his king later. Drops a giant to tank the cannon while he drops his wall breakers. Opens up that compartment, which will give his queen access to 2 air defenses. Looks like the queen's going to lock onto that north AD first. CC's coming out, drops a poison. It's a P.E.K.K.A, so he actually needs to drop the rage really soon. That was really risky by him, because you can sort of afford to drop a poison and rage if your queen's at full health. But if your queen was pretty low, like his was back then, it probably would have been safer to phase there. Oh, he ends up using the phase as well. Right. Oh, then that was a bit of an overcommittal. Starts dropping the dragons because 3 ADs are down. So you can start attacking that side. Drops the golem. And soon he'll be dropping his king as well to take out the last AD. Oh, actually I have no idea why he dropped that one dragon there. He should have just dropped all of them. Drops the rage for his dragons to take out the queen. Meanwhile, on the other side, his king is approaching the AD. Given that he still hasn't used his king ability, and his golem is still pretty healthy, I actually have doubts that if the golem was needed. Like, he quite possibly could have just soloed his king there and brought more dragons. But nonetheless, the attack goes really well. He got a bit lucky there that both black bombs didn't end up killing dragons, and most things that fire at air are already down. Also, really nice that the Tesla is still firing at the Golemites, which does save him quite a bit. As you can see, like, the Tesla ends up taking out both the dragons that got hit by the black bombs, but thankfully there's not much of the base left. But anyway, really cool to see dragons. Nice job, guys. So that was our war against OneHive Genesis. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time.